children were ready. They were ready to hit the streets.
Kelly Ingram Park was the big green buffer between black Birmingham and the white downtown. 16th Street Baptist Church was on one corner, and by noon, Birmingham's finest were on the other. It was all laid out like a battlefield.
To think about it now, I get the shakes. What could have happened?
Martin Luther King spent the day at his motel, wrestling with his conscience.
A lot of people thought the kids were going to get hurt. But the reality of it was that we were born black in Alabama, and we were going to get hurt if we didn't do something.
When noon came and went without a public appearance by King, Bevel opened the floodgates. They came out in waves of 50.
The first 50 came out, he peacefully arrested him, and that does it. And the next 50 shows up, then the next 50, and he go get some more paddy wagons.
They would cram the paddy wagons full of people, and then they would jam the doors shut.
Within an hour, the police had abandoned wagons and started to bring in school buses.
Fill up a bus, pull up another bus, fill it up. We arrested those kids in wholesale numbers.
Bevel timed it so that each group of 50 seemed like the last.
And what they didn't know was as the kids were going out of the front door, more kids were coming in the back door.
50, 50, 50. So it's like, when they gonna stop?
I think when the police arrested us, they thought that we would be afraid and start to cry. They had strange looks to see that we were happy and singing and glad to be arrested.
It's after about 12 o'clock, so maybe they got 500, 600 students in jail now. I told Bull Connor, we have to take a break.
And he walked out in the middle of the streets where the police was. Don't you think we ought to take a break? You need to let your men cool out, we'll cool out. Take a lunch break.
And he said, yeah, well, we need a break because my officers have been out here and haven't had anything to eat. And beside, he says, here come the lunch truck.
The next thing I knew, they passing out Coca-Colas to him.
Bull Connor saw me eating that sandwich. He said, hey, what that nigga do?
Soon as the rest period ended, he come back over where we were. They go back over where they were, and they start back to kicking butt.
By 3 o'clock, almost 1,000 black kids were under arrest for parading without a permit.
There were so many kids in jail, the schools couldn't teach. I remember that so well because my classroom was in jail. The whole class.
We were told to say we were 15, and that would keep us out of the big jail. Didn't work in my case.
I can remember some of them thinking that we're gonna kill them. They'd tell me, oh, I know you're gonna kill me, but I wanna call my mama first.
When the children were in jail, the people were pulling them. Dr. King, my daughter in jail. Dr. King, my son in jail. Dr. King, what are we gonna do? I mean, parents just all around him talking about their children in jail. Just as calm, just as nice.
Don't worry about your children. They are gonna be all right. Don't hold them back if they want to go to jail. For they are doing a job for all of America and for all mankind.
My father told me I could not be part of that movement. I had better not go back downtown. He didn't tell me I couldn't go back to church, which is where it all started in the first place, right?
Well, in that church, I'd have 2 Birmingham detectives. Well, we had a microphone. We didn't tell them that. You've got to know what the other guy's doing if you're going to whip him.
Listen up, brothers and sisters. If today was D-Day, tomorrow will be double D-Day.
By day 2, the word was out, and more than 3,000 spectators converged on the church to watch. But no one could have imagined what they were about to see.
When we got to the park, police was lined up.
They were marching. Got ready. Oh, good Lord, I scared to death. And then the officers gave the order to open up.
They aimed for your head to knock you down. And that water had pressure behind it. It hurt.
During the meeting the day before, they had told us the policeman might hit you, the policeman might have dogs, they might spit on you, they might kick you. But I remember thinking that no one said anything about water hoses.
You could see that the first blast of water dispersed the crowds. But when the water subsided, there were 10 kids still standing. And they were singing one word over and over.
The crowd surged back behind them. The firemen were certainly faced with 200, then 500 protesters.
Bull Connor standing there with his hands on his hips. Shoot the water on those niggers.
The water was so powerful that 4 men couldn't hold it steady.
We could hear the firemen yelling, "Knock the niggers down."
The hose rolled me right down the street, like a sheet of paper.
And look, it would sting so bad.
Suddenly you could see against the sky these bricks and stones.
They were calling us SOBs and bastards, and it started with the rocks and the bottles.
They were arresting them as fast as they could.
Bull came through with that damn tank.
And black folk were throwing and hitting that tank with balls and rocks.
Bull Connor would tell them,
Bring the dogs out.
Most of the dogs were on a leash, but if you reach out, the dog's going to bite you.
There was this vicious big old dog that turned loose on just a smaller child, and the dog lunged at his throat, and it hit him and bit him.
Police had named this black dog Nigger. It was a black German Shepherd.
They had nigger trained. The nigger would bite you. A nigger would bite anybody, black or white, didn't make no difference.
Firemen, journalists, and teenagers all went to the hospital.
I saw a fireman get smashed in the face. He was hurt, and of course, Bull Connor just shipped him out.
Our police and sheriff's officers have met the first test with flying colors. They deserve great praise as they maintain the peace